What's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing good tonight. Let's see. Let's wait for some people to get in. Welcome in, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you guys are doing good tonight. Just wait on a few more people to get in. Tonight we are going to do some giveaway stuff. If you wanted to enter into the giveaway, you had to go watch Artist Series episode 10. But tonight we are going to work through some HueForges and do the giveaways in between. I've got 3 HueForges set up so that we can get through it. And if anybody has any questions, I can answer them here. Or if you guys have any challenge images that you would like to see done, or maybe you have something that you need help with, feel free to ask me about it, and you can send it to me over on Discord, and we can get it into HueForge. Hope everyone's doing good. Let's see. Let's get rid of this. All right, so while we're waiting on some people, I'm going to go ahead and start walking through this particular image, and then as more people join, we will do the giveaways. Start giving away some of the items that we have today. So for this particular image, if you're not watching this live, this image should be relatively easy in color match. Excuse me. This is version 9. This is the beta version of HueForge that is out right now. We are going to go through this particular image, and we are going to color match it, turn it into a HueForge that looks one-to-one with what we see over here in the picture. This picture is not the best quality when it comes to wanting to HueForge it. As you can see, very pixelated because it's a JPEG. So just keep that in mind if you are doing your own HueForges at home, that JPEGs are not the way to go. Usually you want to use a PNG, whether you have a transparent background or not. So let's go ahead and we're going to go over to, up here we have mesh mode, and we can go down to color match. This is where you get to decide what version or what kind of mesh mode that you want to use for HueForge, for lack of a better term, but basically how we're going to have HueForge look at our meshes, or how it's going to create our meshes based on what the image looks like, rather. So let's go over to color match. So when we come into color match, we've got our color core, we've got our mesh core. If we come over to mesh core, we need to pull colors from this image to create the 3D mesh that we have over here. Right now, we've already got 4 colors in. That's HueForge's default. We'll start with nothing. Whenever you hover over a slider, you can hit spacebar and it will disable these sliders rather than using what we had down low in previous versions of HueForge. So for this particular image, when you're in color match, you want to keep in mind 2 primary things. One being, what is the background of your image? And secondly, how certain color ranges are going to blend. So the way that we'll set it up is we want to set the background as the lowest part of our mesh and then the foreground as the topmost. Sometimes there are exceptions to this rule. This image might have some exceptions there, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So first, I want to drag in some fake filaments we're going to drag all fake filaments from this image. We're not going to use any real filaments right off the bat. When we get over to color core, that's when we will set up using our real filaments that we have in our filament library. So I'm going to start off with the background. Like I said, we're going to start off with this darker blue, and we can actually bring in a white, and then we will get all the color range from that blue up to the white. So as you can see here, we have like no color range. That's because when we bring in our fake colors at first, they are a TD of 1, so they're basically opaque. So the easy way to do this, the reason that we use fake colors is we're able to change the transmission distance of these fake filaments without changing transmission distance of anything that is in our filament library. So if I hit T on my keyboard, now we are able to change the TD of this filament, and we can scroll up on our mouse wheel or scroll down, and you can see that we are changing how transparent this particular filament is. So right now it is at an 8 TD, and we can bring it back down all the way down to like a 4 TD. So that is how we can change the TD of all of these filaments. And for the sky, we're probably going to want a little bit more blending room. We're also probably going to want to bring down the detail size. We might not have to for this particular image, but it might be a good idea just to give ourselves a little bit more room. So let's go ahead and we will come down here where it says blend depth. That is how thick this HueForge is going to be. And right now we're in dynamic depth, so I'm going to bring that to static. And we'll bring our blend depth up to like a 2.5 for the time being. 2.48, that makes sense. And then we can come over to our layer height, and we're going to bring that down to a 0.04. So we're going to have a bunch of blending room to make this look really good. So we need to bring in an even darker blue down below this brighter blue to bring in a little bit more of that detail. And this is looking pretty good already. Anytime that you see an equal sign over here in the mesh core, that means that we've already hit full saturation. So you don't really want that. All we have is wasted space essentially. But we can hit T on our keyboard and bring up the TD again to give us a little bit more of a smoother looking mesh. So that looks pretty good for the sky. What do I have this at, an 8? Yeah, so if we have it at an 8, I don't know that I have an 8 TD filament, 8 TD blue anyways. I think that we might have something kind of close. We've got chrominal, we've got this Epax blue pink. It looks more purple than anything in real life. So we'll get there, we'll get there. So now that we have our blues and our whites for this, we can go ahead and blend from this white into our green areas. So what do I mean by that? We're going to grab some of these lighter greens. Actually, let's just grab the darkest green that we see here. And we can grab this. Let's grab, that looks more yellow than green. Let's grab this blue green. We can actually go ahead and grab the yellows that we see here. Bring these up top. And then if we increase the transmission distance of this yellow, you'll see that we start to get the green areas. It's starting to match up where the green areas are. Let me disable this. Yeah, we still want that. There we go. So now we're going to want to bring in a little bit more greens to actually get these saturated. We'll probably want to bring in some skin tones later on as well. STP we can bring up here to the top. And that'll print at the topmost. And then we can always bring in some more colors that we see from the image. There we go. And there we go. bring in some of the browns that we see. And then we should be able, bring this down. Now we should be able to bring in some of that skin tone to start giving us some of the blends that we need for the arm as well as the sunflower seeds. I do not want that to match 1-to-1. I'm not sure why we're trying to blend up here. So let's see. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to do some giveaways here in a second. Let me just disable this altogether. So we've got white here, but that shouldn't matter. Did not mean to disable that. And then it's wanting to match here. I'm not sure why it's trying to match true white. It should be matching down here. Yeah, that's weird. What are we doing? What in the world is going on here? There we go. There we go. I was like, what? Why are you not disabling where I want you to disable? All right. Welcome in, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. We're just going to go over some HueForge projects, and then we're going to do some giveaways here in a second. Let's get rid of this. Go ahead and turn these back on. Yeah, so I want to keep this. We can probably disable, yeah, we can disable that true white layer. And even this. And then I just need a skin tone just above that. But see, I'm not sure why it's trying to match this up top in this. It's kind of weird. I'm not sure why that's happening the way it is. Let's disable that layer. And something else that I need to do while I'm thinking about it, where is... Do we not have... Model geometry. And we'll turn on spike removal. We'll go ahead and turn it up to moderate. Just using this mode, it is very... it's just always the right move to use some sort of spike removal. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. So let's do this instead. That'll work. Welcome in, everybody. So this is looking relatively good. The only problem that I'm seeing is, keep in mind, I'm also battling a really poor image quality. So that's why we're seeing these edges. HueForge shows, you know, what the edges look like more than what you will actually get in your 3D prints. So that should be okay. Honestly, we could probably bring the black down. Somewhere here, and then we can hold control on our keyboard and move everything up. Yeah. Poor image quality is what I'm chalking this one up to. So now that we have, oh, and we need to turn this back on, turn this back on. I didn't realize that we still had those disabled. this. There we go. I was trying to match this background area with this because we don't have a lighter yellow. So we bring down all of this. We make a little bit of room here. We should be able to grab, give me something a little bit brighter. I need something brighter than this. There we go. Give us a little bit more detail. And this is matching to true black, which is not what I want. So we'll grab this, bring it in here. Oh, I still need the black, or I still need the brown, but we can add that. Where did that go? Let's grab this. Yeah, it's bringing it down here. I think that's a bug. It's not letting me bring this up. It's definitely a bug. Interesting. Okay, let's get into our first giveaway while I'm thinking about it. So let's see. We've got our giveaways. So when I was making this giveaway sheet, I kind of forgot to tell people to put their usernames until about halfway through. You can see that we've got usernames here. These are, if you entered with your email address, it'll be the first letter of your email address and the last 2 digits or the last 2 letters. So the first thing that we're going to give away tonight is we're going to give away 2 copies of Spool Stock for a year. Spool Stock is a way to keep track of all of your filaments. It is a very useful app, and it's like a $20 annual subscription, I want to say. So it's a very, very good way to keep track of what filaments you have and how much of those filaments you have left. Thank you to Spool Stock for sponsoring these giveaways. So let's go ahead and we will shuffle. We're going to shuffle 3 times, and then we will spin for the first one. Nice. Congrats, Spice Core 1. I will be sending you an email very shortly. We'll go ahead and remove them. Let's shuffle up one more time. Shuffle 3 times, and then we will spin again for the second annual subscription of Spool Stock. Nice, G and E. Write that down. And then we will remove. So the next giveaway that I have, the next item that I have, we have 2 $25 gift cards for Overture Filament. Huge shout out to them for letting me use some gift cards for this giveaway tonight. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel. And then we'll get to our next HueForge after we get done giving these 2 away. Frankenbee with the $25 gift card for Overture. So we will remove you, and I will get that over to you. And then one more spin of the wheel for the second Overture gift card. AZV. There we go. So now that we've done 4 giveaways, we have 2, 4, 5 more items to give away. We've got a $25 gift card for new makers. We've got a $40 bamboo gift card. We've got a spool of chrominal filament to give away, a $50 polymaker gift card, and a $65 new makers gift card. So we will do that after we do a new HueForge. So let's go ahead and we're going to open another instance of HueForge. Let's see. So this is another image that's going to be a little bit more challenging, and the reason it's going to be a little challenging is that it's a JPEG. So we're not going to get crazy good details, but it's not going to be too terrible either. This one, with the way that the colors are separated here, we're definitely going to have to use color match for it as well. Let's go ahead and do that. This is version 9. This is beta version 9. So if we go over to color match, we will go ahead and in the mesh core, we will go ahead and bring some colors that we see. Since there's no true foreground and background for this, I don't have to do too much thinking, but I'm going to try to stair step it from pink down to red, which means that we're going to need red and black first on our mesh core. So let's grab red. And then we can bring in our green. That looks good. We can bring in a yellow. We can bring in our blue, and you can see that color match has no problems with this image whatsoever as far as matching up the colors 1-to-1. We can bring in this pink. Bring it here. We're going to bring this gray up so that we don't lose the faces. And then we need this magenta somewhere around 22. And we've also got this like bright yellow. So let's bring that in right here. There we go. So now you can see that when I said stair stepping, we've got the edges. You can see that we have, we're starting from red at the top and we're going to work our way stair stepping upwards into our pink and our magenta. And then again, for this, we come over to our model geometry here and we will go ahead and turn on some spike removal to clean it up a little bit. I think we're fine with fast for this image. Now to get the faces to come back around, we're probably going to have to bring this down to a 0.04 layer height to give us a little bit more of that detail and to give us some more of that lettering. So let's bring that up. We can bring this yellow down. We can bring everything down. And we'll bring the grays up. And we can bring this down. Bring the TD up. This one looks pretty good. Now again, with this JPEG, you can see all the pixels around. Not the best image, but it's okay. It will be a-okay for our purposes tonight. But you can see that it gets really muddy here. So if we wanted to change that, we can just bring black all the way to the top, and maybe that brings around the lettering, but you can see that it's still a little shaky just because of HueForge is actually 1-to-1 matching up all of these little pixels around the edge. There's barely any true black, so it's, you know, better to use a PNG than to use a JPEG. When in doubt, use a PNG. So let's go ahead. I'm not going to do the color core. Okay, I'll do the color core. It shouldn't take too long. We'll go back over to filament library, and then we can just right click and find the closest filaments that we have for these. That is very bright. Let's grab a pink. 34. Let's grab sky blue. Bring that to 31. We've got a good looking forest green at 20. This needs to be a low TD as well, so we'll use new makers Bahama. And then we just need a black. Oh, black needs to go to the very top. That's the problem. There we go. And we need red at the very bottom. And that's it. So now we could totally 3D print this. No problems. And it would look pretty good. You can see from the edges what exactly the filament swaps would look like. I think it would look really cool, especially with the raised faces on this. But we don't have a true white in this, do we? That's really easy to do. Let's grab. I'll bring it down low. And then we can come over here. We can grab that white again. It's a 1.6. Why are we blending all the way up? Interesting. Let's grab another red. You can see that it's blending a little bit too much. That is not the intended result. Let's grab this 0.3. There we go. That's better. So it'll cover up that white. Perfect. Are there any questions from the YouTube on how we're doing this, or, you know, the process of HueForge? Oh, I'm missing this yellow as well. Let's see what I've got. Matte butter. There we go. Perfect. No questions. We will move on to the next giveaway then, if that is the case. I'll probably end up printing this one out. We should probably get a different blue though. That's funny. Let's bring all this up. There we go. Nice. Yeah, I like the way that looks a little bit better. So let's do the next two giveaways. So the next giveaway that we are going to be doing is a giveaway for a $25 New Makers gift card. Let's go ahead and we are going to shuffle 3 times. Again, if you weren't here, the names that have a dash in them, those are emails that were sent to me instead of usernames. So I didn't want to, obviously, I didn't want to put somebody's email out there for the giveaway. B62, you win a New Makers $25 gift card. That's the first letter of your email and the last 2 digits of your email. If you were watching this and you entered with your email. Let me get rid of him. So we'll shuffle once. We'll spin again. We're spinning now for a Bamboo Lab $40 gift card. And I'll email all these prizes out once we get through all the giveaways. GN1, congratulations on that $40 gift card. What's up, Richard? Appreciate you stopping in. Just doing some giveaways now. I was working on some different HueForges. This was the last one that we did. I think we could do a little bit better on the pink if we bring this up, but we need to bring the entire color space up. Oh Lord. Come up 1, come up 1. Come up with this. We're looking pretty good. So let's grab another instance of HueForge. I've got one more to work through, and then we will do the final giveaway for. Oh, I appreciate that. We will do the final giveaway for 1 spool of chrominal filament. We've got a $50 Polymaker gift card, and we've got a $65 gift card for new makers to give away. That'll be after we do this next one. Let's see. Come over to our folder. There we go. So this one is going to be a little bit challenging because it's an older picture and it's a JPEG. We've got all of these pixels. It looks like a fuzzy TV screen from 2001. So it might not look 100%. Let's go ahead, and for this one, I will most likely need to use color match. So if we come up here to mesh mode, we can come down to color match. So let's go ahead. Black is probably fine where it's at. I don't know that we're going to need this blue gray. We'll definitely need a gray, but we're not going to need this polylight gray. And we're not going to need this white right now. I don't think that we're going to need 0.04 layer heights, but I'll just use it for the example. I think that we should be fine at 0.08, but I might as well just use it. So right now, we'll get rid of this. So right now we've got our black. That's our background area, right? And then we'll grab our white. I don't necessarily need to put white at the very top, but it'll be okay with the way it is. So let's grab our red since it's easiest. Just put this up top. Morning view's already matched down below to the black. So now all we need to do is we need to grab our blues. So I'm going to grab the darkest blue that I can see. And then I will come over here and I will grab the lightest blue that I can see. And another thing, when you're in color match, come over to model geometry. You want to turn on spike removal to clean things up. We'll just leave it on fast. So since we brought up the lightest color that we have, the lightest blue, what we're going to do is instead of grabbing each individual blue that we see, each individual shade of blue that we see, we can just hit T on our keyboard, and that'll bring this fake filament into TD mode, and you can use your mouse wheel to scroll up. And so we are increasing the transmission distance of this fake filament. That way we get all of the blending range in between, from this darkest area all the way up to this lightest area. It looks like we might need a more saturated blue somewhere in between. That's looking pretty good. I'm not sure what's going on with the red. What do we have this on? This is a 5 by default? That should not have been a 5. That's kind of interesting. I think it's trying to match this area because it's like a shade of brown, like a hint of tan, khaki. So if we just bring in that exact color, we do have some trouble. Let me grab a gray from the image. I don't like the way this is looking with the gray. I think that we will put this khaki up top and we'll keep this blue down low. But then due to the nature of the image, we have all this kind of like blowout area. This is definitely one of those challenging images for HueForge in general, for color match in general, because we're matching 1-to-1, and all of these smoky pixels, these foggy looking pixels, can cause a lot of problems. And if we turn this off, then it's trying to match this one area as a as what it sees here, so that's not what we want either. I think that we could grab like an actual gray out of our filament library and run that to get rid of most of what we're seeing. What if we bring you lower? Could always do that. There we go. So we'll just start off with red in this particular image. Well, look at what the at the what? At the cattle inn something. um so yeah, and then if you see the equal signs, that means that we're at full saturation. So if you have like a bunch of them, all you're doing is thickening up the mesh. It's not really benefiting you in any way, shape, or form. So it's not a bad thing. Sometimes you do want that result, but for this particular image, we don't. But that looks pretty good. Are there any questions from the viewers that we have tonight? We've already done half of the giveaway, basically. I've got a spool of chrominal filament to give away. I've got a $50 gift card from Polymaker and a $65 gift card from New Makers. If you haven't already entered the giveaway, you probably won't be able to enter the giveaway by the end of the stream. You had to sign up in Artist Series episode 10 to get into the giveaway for this. This would be for a future update releasing for HueForge, but somehow it would be awesome to manually select a particular section and choose what filament you'd want there. Yeah. So if you can see, when I hover over particular colors, particular layers, you can see that we have this new flash, and that flash is indicating, what areas are particular colors. And it's definitely coming in the future as far as being able to select just one layer and making it the color that you want. But the problem is that you're going to need a low TD filament to do that anyways, since we're printing, swap by layer. So it's got to be a very quick transition from whatever color you're printing to that particular color. But yes, I agree that it would be nice for a future update. It's being worked on, but it was very buggy, and you didn't want to you don't want to add a really buggy feature in a new update. So, and hopefully this update 0.9 will be coming out Monday. Almost swap materials on the same layer height. Yeah, that'll be coming as well. Like multicolor printing, where you have to have an AMS to do it, that'll be coming way later in the future as well. So you'll be able to do certain things like that. So let's see. If we come over to our color core, we need a red. Let me just grab whatever we have closest. I think, yeah, nuclear red looks pretty good. Then we've got our black layer. I think blue-gray will look fine up to a certain point. And then we can grab, I think Polymaker has a muted blue that looks really good, but it's a low TD. So let's grab, that's awesome. I need to join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at for sure. That blue is way too much. Let's bring in this light blue, and then I think I have for grays, I've got Panchroma, and I've actually got Polysonic white. And that'll be good up top. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. So we're missing some blends because we don't have any other gray. Let's see, I've got this guy, but it kind of mutes it out. I don't necessarily want that. Let's see what other blues I have as well. If I use this muted blue, it looks good, but I need something up top as well. Or at least I think it'll look better with something a little closer to what we're working with here. It's just so bright with this Polysonic. I don't necessarily want it that bright. If anybody has any questions about what we're doing here, feel free to ask. Right now I'm adding real filaments to the mesh core that we created earlier. So if I had these filaments in particular TDs, like an 8.5 bluish gray, it would make this significantly easier, but I do not. So we're just kind of winging it. the best that we can. With what we've got, so keep this here, bring this down low. I don't hate that. I don't love the purple color, but I don't hate this. I'm not sure why we have an equal sign here. I don't have a filament here. Interesting. That's a bug for sure. There we go. That's about as close as I can get with the filaments that I own. Pretty sure I could bring in this blue-gray and get a little bit more blue at least. Then we miss out on all the light rays. So I'm not sure. I think this is be personal preference. But I think that this still looks pretty good. So now that everybody's here, we've got, now that we finished this project, we did Rolling Stones. And we also did some Stone Temple Pilots. We had a few albums that I'll probably print out and post over on Maker World and things and all that stuff and on my Patreon. So be on the lookout for that. I've also got at least 5 artists lined up already for more artist series videos that'll go through color match and stuff. We're going to do something a little bit different. Now that I've already finished 10 episodes, I'm going to call that like season 1. And then anything from episode 11 to episode 20, that's going to be season 2. I've got 3 different 3D artists that I'm going to collab with. And we're going to make a bunch of hybrid HueForges using their work and using the work that I can do to make their stuff look a little bit different and make it a little bit more interesting. So be on the lookout for that series. Then I've got some more videos coming about TPU HueForges and all kinds of other stuff. Stained glass HueForges, clocks, how to make clocks with HueForges and all that good stuff. Anyways, so we're going to wrap things up a little bit. Thank you to everybody, all the artists that have participated in this series. Thank you to everybody that's here tonight, and thank you to everybody that has supported me so far. This would not be possible without all of you guys, and I really appreciate it. So now we have 1 spool of criminal filament that we're going to spin for. Let's shuffle up 3 times, and we'll spin it. Yeah, for sure, Richard. It just makes sense to do seasons, especially when I want to do different kinds of content between seasons to focus on. So Final Form 3D, 1A spool of chrominal filament. Now we will remove him or her. We'll shuffle up again. And now we are rolling for a $50 coupon to Polymaker. I have everybody's email, so I'll just reach out to them after the stream. So TV Hawk with the $50 Polymaker gift card. Congratulations to you. And then we have a $65 New Makers gift card. Huge shout out to everybody that sent me stuff to give away tonight in celebration of the artist series. I think that I'll do another giveaway when we get to episode 20 of the artist series, and that one will be more for anybody that's viewing. This one I wanted to really promote episode 10 and really give away items to people that watch that series because I really appreciate you guys. So let's go ahead and we will spin the wheel for the final gift card of the night. Sweet. Charming. You get a $65 New Makers gift card. What a name. So that is all that we have tonight. Is there, if you're watching tonight, is there any questions that you may have about HueForge, the new update? Is there anything that you want to see that you need to know? I can show you guys something, any of the new modes or what. I need a soundboard when someone wins. Yeah. You know, you know. I have a soundboard app, but it's not the best when it comes to streams. I want to get like an actual sound card so that I can just have a button to hit. But that's besides the point. What do we got? What do we got? Let's see. So if there aren't any questions, again, I really appreciate everybody coming out to watch tonight. Richard, appreciate you specifically. Uh, I will be doing more content in the future, so stay tuned for that. I've got, like I said, stained glass HueForge is coming out. How to make a clock using HueForge. I've got TPU HueForge is coming. Did you ever ask about ABS smoothing HueForge? No. The guy that does ABS primarily for HueForge, he's been on vacation. So, but I will definitely ask about it. And you definitely need to get on the Discord. So if you aren't already on the Discord and your link is old, first of all, you have to have purchased HueForge. If you haven't purchased HueForge and you can't get in the Discord, but if you have it and the link is old, you can just message the store chat and they will get you another invite to the Discord. So yeah, because then you can ask in the Discord and anybody can get back to you on that question. But all right, well, it has been fun tonight. I hope that if you're watching this later on, that those, quick walkthroughs of color match for these particular albums helped out. Stoked for my Voron build too. Great stream, man, for sure. The Voron is coming together. I'm building it this week actually. So